Hey, it is Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Radcliffe.
There she is. When she's not making pan biscuits, she's interviewing with Rick and Dan. Hello there.
Kay Dodd. Hello, my friends.
Comedian extraordinaire.
Comedian and biscuit maker extraordinaire.
I want one of them biscuits. That sounds good right now.
You know what? In fact, honest to God, when I saw that, I said, Dan and I have to, I just had a light go out. Uh-oh. That's a sign, isn't it? When your light
in the dark.
Out? No, Rick, no light went out. It was in your head.
It's back on now.
It went back on. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. I thought Dan and I should come up and do an interview show, and then we can finally sit down and have a conversation with Eddie one-on-one.
Yes.
And talk about how to pick his wife's headbands that she pulls out of the closet. Right?
Oh, I should have worn that thing. I haven't taken it to the thrift store yet. It's in a bag somewhere. Yes, that was so typical of my husband. He's so honest about stuff like that. Just, hey, what do you think of this? He's like, for cleaning the house. And I'm like, nope. But I got my answer. Thank you. And I just popped out.
Well, baby, unless you're cleaning the house, don't wear that.
Yeah, don't wear that thing. But yeah.
Now, would you rather him say, "Oh, that looks so good on you, Kay, my darling. It looks so good."
No, Mama, don't play that. I don't lie to me about stuff like that. I mean, sometimes I wish he had a filter, but he does not. And he never did. And so I married him anyway. So there you go. So I knew what I was getting when I got him, and vice versa. He knew what he was getting when he got me. So, that is a part of actually, that's a part of recovery, is living a life that demands rigorous honesty. And I think that's something that doesn't get hailed as much as it should, because it is so important. Not brutal honesty, not you're ugly and your mama dresses you funny, but kind of honesty. But just being truthful.
I'm feeling attacked right now, Kay.
Why?
Because you called me ugly and said my mama dresses me funny.
I did not. I said not that kind of honesty. And besides, I would attack Rick before I attacked you.
Okay.
Well,
Rick and I are like brothers and sisters.
Yeah. Yes. Well, you brought up a couple of points that I want to talk about. One is, if I remember correctly, I didn't see it this morning. Didn't you just celebrated how many years of sobriety, and you had like a bracelet on, didn't you? Was that connected with your sobriety?
This bracelet?
What is that? That's the one you had on Facebook.
It's a Serenity Prayer bracelet. Did I have that on Facebook though?
Yeah. You talked.
Oh, because I had my watch on the wrong arm.
Yeah.
Yes. That was when I was in, I don't even know. I did a run in Ohio where we stayed. We were in 4 cities, 3 nights, 3 hotels, and the same airport, but and only 2 shows. Wow. And so it was, driving to the show, doing the show, driving after the show, staying somewhere else, then getting up, driving to eat, and then to the show, and then afterwards back to the airport hotel. So
I'm exhausted just hearing that, Kay. Wow.
I mean, I'm 59 years old. It's like, y'all need to put me in one hotel and tell me where the elevator is. But no, it was, because I work with youngsters, and so they deal with this a whole lot better than I do. But I was like, where are we? What show are we doing? What city are we in? And so, yeah, I had put my watch on the wrong arm. I knew it felt weird when I was doing it, but I was just sitting on the side of the bed in the hotel, getting ready. And yeah, so it just says Serenity Prayer on it.
Awesome. Well, I lost you right after you said the first time I put it on the wrong arm. After that, I was lost because you were flipping around. You're going to hotels and airports, but it's all.
Wore you out too, huh?
Yeah, that's me. That's just how I am. All
yes.
right, let's do this. Let's talk about. You had quite the adventure. You had a Valentine's weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, that was in Indiana, right? That's what you just talked about. And you had some time with, it sounds like a prison sentence, doesn't it? You had some time with Anita Renfro.
You did time with Anita Renfro.
Yeah, I did time with Anita, and it was not a prison sentence at all. No, we did a pro-life center in Marble Falls, where her daughter Elise and her son-in-law Andy are pastors of the Life Marble Falls, right there in beautiful Marble Falls, Texas. If you've never been to Marble Falls, save up and go. It is absolutely gorgeous. Colorado River runs right through the middle of it. I was in a hotel overlooking the banks of the Colorado River. Wow. I was trying every which way to get my flight to be canceled so I could stay another day. They wouldn't do it just because the water wasn't working in Austin yet. But they still put us on a plane. Even though Starbucks couldn't sell me any coffee, I still had to travel. They couldn't sell coffee that day. We were only selling bottle drinks. I was like, yeah, that's what the stores used to say that I used to frequent. I was like, no, I don't want one of your bottle drinks, $7 bottle drinks. I want coffee. So, but yes, I got to spend some time with Anita. I got to see the farm. They, built a beautiful house, absolutely gorgeous house in the middle of like 23 acres in Burnett, Texas, which is beautiful as well. Yeah. But yeah, so we did a show to raise some money for a pregnancy center there in in Marble Falls, and it was awesome.
And on top of all that, you're a party girl because over the weekend you and I partied together for Ezra. Party. Yeah, because we talked to Ezra last week, and
yes, I was me over in the corner doing cupcake shooters. That was
cupcake shooter.
I missed those. All I got was a piece of cake. I didn't get a cupcake shooter, but Kay Dodd was cutting a rug out there, Rick. I was DJing. She and her daughter Kaylee were out there cutting a rug.
Well, what was she doing?
He's lying. I convinced myself that I can get out there with them when they do those line dances, and I stay like 10 seconds. Like the electric slide, for me, it looks more like a battery-powered walker. It's not electric at all, and there's no sliding to it unless I just slide down on the ground and go, somebody call 911. I was hurting. I mean, my hip was just not cooperating that day.
And your camera wasn't cooperating either. We got like 3 pictures together because we were trying to get just the right picture.
Yeah, there was no ego in that. It was like, oh my goodness, I look so wrinkled. Let me go put on some more makeup. And then I'd come back. That was Dan. And then I'd come back.
It was me. And especially when I looked so old. My hair was all grayer than it really was.
The lighting was terrible. And so we literally had Kaylee take the picture like 3 different times. It was starting to get awkward. It's like, okay, this is going on social media, whatever it turns out, even if, whatever comes out this last time.
It was fun, though.
It was fun because I haven't seen you guys in person. I actually had the thought of driving down to Buckhead Center and just sitting in the van on the top floor parking deck and just doing it from the van and going, I'm at the studio. Because I miss this. I miss you guys. And I told Dan, Rick, Saturday, Sunday, whatever day it was, that about a decade from now, or maybe 2 decades from now, these youngsters are going to go, hey, we have a great idea. Let's bring guests into a studio and we'll all be in the same room together. I know Peepaw used to do that. Let's try that.
Peepaw back in the day.
Back in the day. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely miss having folks in the studio, but we're kind of betwixt and between because, this way we can do a number of things. We can talk to people that are not just local in Atlanta. We
absolutely. And
like we were on what's her name show, the Rhonda Corley.
Yes, I heard that. I didn't know it till it was over. And that's the thing. You guys have needed this technology for a long, long time because there's just only so many times you can interview me.
But you know what? You came up in the conversation that night, right, Dan? A few times.
I told her that we talked about playing games, and I said, gosh, don't play games with Kay Dodd because she hates it.
She knows better, but she did it anyway. And she knows she's far enough away. I can't fly up there to whoop her tail. So,
Did she give you some of those things that she gives her dog to calm down? Did she give you those to be able to play games?
What is she giving her dog? Hemp treats?
Hemp treats, yeah.
Oh my goodness. No, but I could see myself curled in the corner eating those, saying, come, Messiah, come. That's probably not very spiritual, but it's just where I am these days.
It's all natural. It's all good.
I actually tuned her in. I think it was it last night? She was on and doing the show, and I was here in the studio just doing some other stuff for the station, and it popped on that she was live. And honestly, I don't remember who she was talking to, but she was saying some funny stuff, and she did the cam to Chewy, and Chewy was out. I mean, he had X's on his eyes. I'm like,
oh, that's hysterical. Well, I'm gonna have to find out where she's getting them treats.
Oh, I need some of those treats.
It relaxes you that much. Yeah, Rhonda's very funny. I told Dan, when she first started, and we did a retreat together, about 7 or 8 of us in a cabin that I'd put together at Red Top Mountain, and Rhonda off the grid, was just at 2:00 in the morning when we were about to smother in our sleep. She was cracking us up, and every single one of us was like, if she's ever fully herself, we'll all be driving her to her bus. She is hysterical.
You bring up a point, because I mean, that's the nature of people, right? We're all different in our deliveries and in what we do. She is, I mean, you can't really compare her to like you or Anita or anyone else. The first time I heard her, I didn't pick up really a lot of the lines and the humor.
Yeah.
And I don't even know that some of it's even rehearsed. I think some of it comes out of her head.
Yeah.
But on the show, and then last night, she was saying stuff, and they just all like pulling stuff out of her head, and it was hysterical.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that avenue that she's using, Lisa's using several, of course, Rhonda's using it strictly for a comedy show. Lisa's is more of a talk show. It's more of a spiritual kind of thing, but it's very humorous. And, but Rhonda, when you are that on that many times, that's how you get to be who your true self is on stage. But now the stage is the camera, which I'm still, working on, upping my milligrams enough to be on camera. I do fine with you guys, but just for me to sit here and just start talking, I have really struggled with that. Yeah. I am a in-person connector, performer, not sit here and stare at a little round hole on my laptop and talk without somebody asking me a question to talk, because then I talk and can't shut up.
I think it would be much easier to be in front of an audience and have that feedback as to whether they're laughing, and it would be much easier.
Yeah.
I know years ago I did a guy was doing his what's the thing you do in college, and it's the final project you have to do to get your degree.
Detox
internship or
detox.
Dissertation detox. It's one of those B words.
He was a radio, television, and what was the other major, which he's not doing anymore. Now he's a lawyer, but he had to do a movie. So he wrote, it was a really good movie. He wrote in and produced this movie. Well, he wanted me in it. I was not the main character, but I was a very funny character in the movie. But the end result was good, but I hated being that type of actor, because you had to do the same line different ways with no response from anyone.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't like this movie stuff. I don't ever want to do another movie again.
Yeah.
It is not my cup of tea. I mean, it is definitely a totally different world right now. And that's why the few that we did, now when we were in one part of Indiana, the reason we did 4 shows that weekend. We did 3 shows in one location. So we flew into Indianapolis. The next day, drove like an hour and a half down to Seymour, did a show that night for 50 people, because that was the limitation for that area. And for marriage date night, that's only 25 couples. And so then we pack up, go back to the hotel in Indianapolis. Next day, we go 2 hours to another city, then back to the hotel, and then back to Seymour Sunday to do a 2:30 and a 6:30 show for 50 people. Well, the 6:30 show was a much smaller crowd. And the 2:30 show was the crowd that was like, oh, snap, we bought tickets to a show during our nap. And which didn't stop them from taking a nap.
Well, I'd be on a Sunday afternoon.
The 11 couples at the 6:30 show were more interactive. Even the ones that were scattered around the room in the back of the room, they were more interactive than the 2:30. Because I've always said, a 2:30 afternoon show when Kaylee was in theater and we did the 3:00 show. It was the Meemaw Peepaw show. It's what it was. And these people had literally been to church, gone to lunch, and came right back to the church at 2.
I'd be sleeping. Yeah.
And comedy is a nighttime sport. And so, it's just not, but you got to do what you got to do in this season to accommodate and to try to get the ministry out there. People are starving for that connection. And we saw that so much. I mean, watching their faces relax, watching their bodies relax, watching the just the change in the people once they had been there for a little while. It was, and they'd start to interact with one another, with other couples. People are really, this is becoming essential. I always thought that it was because it was essential to me having groceries, but that was supposed to be funny, guys. But so I hold up cue cards, laugh. But it was labeled non-essential, live events, concerts, all that kind of stuff. But laughter is essential.
Yeah.
And it's so hard, even for the person watching, to watch something live on YouTube and not hearing a feedback there either, because you get the energy from the room.
Right.
And, so,
So where can we see coming up anytime soon, Kay? You got any shows around here that we can see?
Well, later at Aldi's today.
You'll be on aisle 11.
The one thing the one thing I didn't post about being in Ohio, but I told Dan about it Sunday, is, when I travel, okay, you're 59 years old when you tear your ACL taking off your compression socks. I used to make fun of my poor little granny because she wore those really thick hose. Little did I know they were a prescription. But so I'm teasing. I didn't tear my ACL, about broke my back. But I will be coming up Michigan, Indiana, Chicago, back to Austin in May. There's 3 more weekends before the summer kind of shuts everything down. Very excited about it, but it's not until mid-April. So so I'll be here for Easter this year. And, just trying to serve and do stuff around recovery stuff and church stuff.
Church stuff.
Yes.
Up there at the Cross Point Church, right?
Yes. Kaylee's on staff there now, and which is awesome.
Wow.
She's still at Chick-fil-A and working a part-time staff internship at Cross Point City, which is going really well. She's really loving it. And she's trying to find that balance, which I haven't told her yet. You'll never find it.
Yeah.
But she's still looking. So bless her.
Good for her.
That
is so cool. We just had Zach on, what was it, a couple of weeks ago, right, Dan?
Zach Thomas.
Yeah.
Yes. Dan told me that. I missed that one as well. Yes, he is amazing. He has been an amazing boss, supervisor, owner, operator, friend in the community. We are very grateful for Zach for all that he does, not just what he's poured into Kaylee's life, but
and he's got a great beard now. So I mean, very nice. Thick.
Oh, does he really? I haven't seen him in forever because the dining room's still not open.
We were just talking about that earlier today. It's time to open Chick-fil-A. If you're listening to Kathy, let's open it.
Well, if people would behave themselves, they probably would have opened a lot sooner. But people don't want to follow rules and guidelines, and they want to bring their, well, this is how it should be. Well, you don't own the place, so.
Yep, I got you.
So maybe this is backstage talk. Maybe I'm getting a little too real now. I don't know. But but I did see him the day that I went in. I did that mocha cold brew commercial and brownie video commercial, whatever, for them. And he was there that day. That was a couple of months ago, though. But
awesome.
That's awesome. Kay Dodd, we always love hanging with you, Kay. We're so glad that things are breaking loose for you. Go to Kay Dodd, 2Ds there.com and check out what's going on. Check out our Facebook page too, and you'll see those amazing biscuits that Dan and I are going to have hopefully in maybe the summer, the fall. I don't know. Pretty soon.
Hey, you call them bigger than your face biscuits, or what do you call them?
Well, it was a cast iron skillet, so it was probably about a 10-12 inch cast iron skillet.
So it is bigger than your face biscuit. Yeah.
And Eddie and I went to Florida together last year for a corporate, not last year, back when we had a life, a corporate gig in 2019, and we ate at a restaurant that had square biscuits. And I'm like, you got round sausage and square biscuits. What is up with this? but they had risen so high and were so soft and moist and buttermilk and all that. And so the lady had told me they make them in a rectangular pan. Well, it was just me and him that day. And so I was like, I don't really feel like cutting out all these bits. I just got the cast iron skillet. It was the only size pan that small that I had. I didn't have a square one. Slap that dough in there, and we had this big old biscuit.
Yum.
So I cut the circle off of all the sides and made our square biscuits that day. They were good.
Sounds good.
It looked good. We're going to do that. We're going to go fishing with Eddie. It's going to happen.
Yes, he's been out there doing some work and helping a friend, and he gets to drown a few worms. So we've had a few fish though the last couple of days.
Awesome.
All right, well, let's do this. We got to take a break. Kay Dodd, again, you can go to Kay's website there. It's kaydodd.com, 2Ds, DODD.com. Kay, good to see you. We love you. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is
Yes, you are.
Go ahead. You can say it. Go ahead.
I'm Kay Dodd.
And this is Faith Talk Live.